Hold on a second. And we're live. Hey guys, and welcome to the Sports Disaster, episode 25, Drama, Sackings, and Trades. Oh my. Ladies and gentlemen, my name is Red Rubber Duckman. I am your host for this week. And off to my left is Zep. Say hi, Zep.
Are you sure that's your left duck?
I'm pointing to my left. Like right there is my left. And
Of
down
course.
below us is Dark Kirby 14.
Hello.
Welcome
Alright.
back to the usual suspect, and we've got ourselves a juicy one today. Get us started, duck.
Alright, so we have potential. So here are our topics for today. The first main one, is Aaron Rodgers in this drama-laden COVID-19 bullcrap. The second one is Odell Beckham getting released by the Browns. And Zep had a very good topic. Jack Eichel heading to the Vegas Golden Knights. But first...
Thanks for ruining frickin' Alex Tuck's fantasy value, you fucks.
We're going to elaborate on that, but Duck had something else to mention.
Yes.
Go ahead.
This is a very personal one. As many of you have known, I am part of the Akron Marching Band. I perform for all the Zips football games. And just this week, on Thursday morning, Tom Arth, the head football coach for the Akron Zips, has been given the pink slip after 3 years as the Akron football head coach. Honestly, I saw this one coming. But I'm more shocked at the reason they did it now. Because honestly, they could have waited till the end of the season, or they should have fired him the beginning of the season. Because over, I should say, 2.5 seasons as the football head coach, he has amassed 3 wins, including 2 this year against Bryant and at Bowling Green. His first year came with a perfect 0-12 season. But he does have an excuse. He was a guy chosen to do a whole rebuild because Akron was around mediocrity. Like, they were bowl game contenders. Not really much of anything special. However, most of the last team before Arth went 4-7, I believe. And they let go of some senior talent. So Tom Arth was dealing with a clean slate, fresh new faces, and you could see why the Zips went 0-12 that year. Now, the second year, it got mainly infected due to a pandemic that we will not speak of. So it ended up being a shortened season for the Zips. In the 2020 season, they ended up they ended up going 2-7. No, wait, no.
That's this.
Right,
That's
this
the
season they
season.
went 2-7. They went 1-5 with their win against Bowling Green. So, if you do the math, it is a 3-24 record over the course of under 3 seasons. Yeah, we saw this one coming. The thing with Tom Arth is that he was a fantastic guy. He had plenty of motivational talks to his players and the band when he visited us, but the writing was all but on the wall. And I could, and that's why they let him go. And the interim head coach is Oscar Hernandez Jr. I'm not sure if I botched it, but he will fill in for the Zips the next 3 games at Western Michigan and Kalamazoo, Kent State, and at Toledo. And we recently had a new athletic director, Charles Guthrie. This will be his first time searching for a new head coach. And I've heard rumors that he will be looking to hire Charlie Fry, former Browns quarterback and former Akron quarterback, actually. He is the current quarterbacks coach for the Miami Dolphins. Now, whether it's going to pan out or not, or whether whoever he's going to find, that's a story for another time. Rest in peace, Tom Arth. You may or may not be missed.
And we'll add a bit of an addendum to what you just mentioned. I'm not sure if this was the same for them last season, but in this current season, the Akron Zips, while their 2 wins coming against Bowling Green, Bowling Green was either barely ranked or just below getting ranked. So Akron ended up helping fuel a downward spiral for the team that now has them sitting at 3-6-0. Those 3 wins help get them started, and they haven't won since Akron crushed them, or I should say beat them 35-20 on October 9th. They seem, from what I'm reading, Akron's, you could say they're a cupcake opponent, yes, but they also have a habit of just ending ambitions of foolish teams, or teams that are thinking they can be much better, which is, for a team like that, pretty significant. Because you're not going to expect them to blow the lights out, be this phenomenal team, but if they can mess things up for the bigger D1 schools, like, say, in Ohio State, a Bowling Green, that's something. And it feels like they really weren't building much other than these fluky wins. So it's now up to the new head coach to try and establish something within the team. They have something, just can they build? Especially for these smaller colleges like a Toledo, like an Akron, it's very difficult to really make headlines.
Yeah.
Zap your mic.
I know.
Yeah, we addressed that ahead of time.
This headset's just giving up the ghost.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, by the way, Purdue leads Michigan State.
For some reason, I saw that coming. What's the score?
14-7, Purdue.
Oh, that's actually not too bad. Right now, I'm watching Auburn and Texas A&M. They are dead even at 3. Seb, what game are you watching?
Speaking of, I'm still watching it, but I'm keeping an eye on it. But I will also say, I don't feel like there is a true, definitive standout team that, with all of college football, every one of them has some form of a weakness. Georgia,
I'm
their
watching Tampa Bay Lightning.
Georgia's quarterback play is sus. Since he has no offensive line. Alabama, Michigan State, Oregon, Ohio State have deficiencies in the secondary that can be properly exploited. I believe
Yeah.
I think so.
Ohio State barely escaped today.
Yes, they did. But I had a feeling that that game was going to be a trap game from the moment I knew it was in Lincoln, Nebraska, because that place, whether the
Even Michigan
Huskers
had to-
are
even Michigan
11-0
had to-
or 0-11, that place gets loud.
Even
They
Michigan
have
had to
rowdy
escape.
fans over there.
Even Michigan barely escaped when they went there in the night game.
Exactly.
That
They have
being
very
s-
passionate fans.
Absolutely. And that being said, excuse me, dang it. Um, that being said, we have another team with a very passionate fan base going through a very different set of issues in Green Bay. Duck, lead us in.
Yes, that's right. The Green Bay Packers is going through a hell of a lot of drama right now because Aaron Rodgers recently tested positive for COVID-19.
Mm-hmm.
And it was later found out that he said he was immunized, but guess what? He was not vaccinated. When the NFL fought tooth and nail to tell all their players to get vaccinated. And that just leads to more drama in the NFL front. Zep, what's your thoughts?
There's two things I'm going to say. The first is I hope as a result of this, in the next Packers game, their quarterback, Jordan Love, some said was drafted too soon as replacement for Rodgers. I just hope he has a game. Like destroy, not just kick the living crap out of the Chiefs, but kick them all the way back to Kansas City.
Yes.
That kind of game. Because I want to see because I haven't been a fan of Aaron Rodgers since the offseason drama that surrounded him. Plus, he's a free agent at the end of the year, so I just want to see Green Bay basically say, "Oh yeah, we don't really need you because this guy we have here named Jordan Love, he's phenomenal. He's amazing." The second thing I'm going to say is this: we saw it last year with teams having issues with COVID. This year we saw players like Cole Beasley and DeAndre Hopkins come out and openly question them. Beasley kind of had to deal with it. Hopkins didn't really get much attention. But Aaron Rodgers, to say you're immunized, not vaccinated, that's a
No,
red flag on its own.
Yeah.
no. Aaron Rodgers actually only has 1 year left on his contract after this year.
Okay.
But, okay, thank you very much, because several people have said, yeah, this is it for him, and he might opt out. But to me, I just see this as trying to basically as the star power in the NFL trying to get away with stuff like this. Because Aaron Rodgers, no doubt, is a major star in the league, not just in Green Bay, but overall. And to see I'm hoping he gets the book thrown at him, because then it would set a precedent for the NFL, comply, get your vaccine, make sure you're all good there, or you're getting basically burned to a crisp by our legislation. Yes. It's going to happen? I don't think so, because they might. Because again, he's a star player, and there's so much that surrounds him in terms of attention, media circus or not. But my hope is he gets the book thrown at him for this, and the Green Bay Packers just basically say you're done. By Jordan Love proving that they can do this without him.
Right.
Duck.
I mean, what Aaron Rodgers did was absolutely stupid.
I mean, if you're gonna at least, I don't really lean one way or another on the whole vaccine thing, but
yeah,
if you're gonna be unvaccinated, at least just fucking say you are.
Yeah. And just do what any good person would do and wear a mask. Whether you're vaccinated or not, just wear a mask. Because I've heard that Aaron Rodgers, he was not wearing a mask indoors during press
There was
conferences,
there was
even
also
though it says you should.
there was also a Halloween party recently for the Packers.
God. You're kidding me, right?
Hold on, let me see if I can.
Kirby, you're helping me with my case. Please don't help me with the case. I've made a strong one already. But I'm also going to say this. I don't know where you, as the audience, or you guys stand on the vaccine issue, but in my opinion, just get it.
Yeah, well,
Because with the uptick in cases, at least in the U.S., especially in Pittsburgh, where I am right now, it seems like the excuses for doing this are just getting eaten away by just how bad it is getting to be once again. So just you just ignore these other voices and just go ahead and get it. Because if you're going to be one of the anchors to keep us weighed down, that's one thing. But to be as blatant as Rogers has been in just treating it like, it's okay. No,
yeah.
no.
Mm-hmm. Exactly. I think most people just got the vaccine because people just want everybody to shut up. That's
I
one
did.
possibility.
I did
All
because
right,
go ahead, Kirby.
I gotta get ready for Mario Party in about an hour and a half, and I have other things to do before then. So,
All right.
Good luck.
sad to say that I'm gonna be taking off.
Good luck and have fun.
If you guys want to come by and watch, it'll be in the Tree server at 6 p.m. Eastern time.
Sounds good. I think
All
we'll
right.
be done by then, and we'll be getting some dinner.
All right.
Yeah, but I want to go
right.
back to a point that I was making just beforehand, and you kind of alluded to, and with as many restrictions as there are for people who are unvaccinated or do not have proof of vaccination, it makes more sense just to get it and get it done with, rather than face what isn't. And that's one of the reasons I got it as quickly as I did, because I knew with the industry I want to work in, they were among the first to, or I should say, one of the industries I want to work in, they were among the first to really put these mandates in place. Especially with live concerts now being back, it's almost not worth it to just not do this anymore.
Yeah, because my school, the University of Akron, had this policy where if you're vaccinated, you don't have to wear your mask outdoors, but if you're in class or inside a building, you gotta wear your mask whether you're vaccinated or not.
Same
You know
here.
what? I do want to. You know what? I do want to feel freedom without my mask outside. So I figured. Plus, I figured the band was gonna force their bandmates to get the vaccine anyways. So I was like, you know what? Screw it. Just so you could shut up, I'm gonna go ahead and get it.
I know for me, generally speaking, if I'm going out and about, unless I'm in my dorm like I am now, I've just become so used to like masking up while there's still this threat of the virus out there, that I like it's like weird to me. Like whenever I go in somewhere, they're like, "Why are you wearing masks?" But again, that's just me, and like I've become so used to doing this, and there's still that threat out there. But going back to why that's even being brought up, to lie about that vaccination status for our universities, that's practically an expulsion sentence right there. For again, because there's no precedent for something like this in the NFL, I'm hoping they just throw the book at Aaron Rodgers.
Yes.
And then it's like there's the turd Sunday, and then just adding a little cherry on top is if Jordan Love just has himself a game, playing a weak defense in the Chiefs, or I should say porous or Swiss cheese defense in the Chiefs, it would make it all. It's not that hard to imagine, but just have yourself a game, Jordan Love. Make the Packers just want to move on from this. Dare we say this drama king and clown.
Yes. All right.
Right. Now that we've exhausted that, what's next?
Okay, so the next topic is we're going to stay in football, and OBJ recently got released by the Cleveland Browns. I have a feeling that we've been seeing this coming since the season started. Zep, what's your thoughts on this?
I was actually going to let you, the native Ohioan, and the person closer to Cleveland, start this off before I give my thoughts. So, go ahead.
All right. So, as you know, I am a Steelers fan living in Ohio, which is a very rare breed. And the thing is, the Browns have been talking crap since 2019 when they booked OBJ into Cleveland. They were like, oh my God, we got OBJ. We're going to the Super Bowl. And then a 6-10 season later, you'd be like, huh. Are the Browns really that legit, or are they just desperate to get something going? And then the 2020 season came in. They did a hell of a lot better. They finished, I think, 11-5 or 10-6,
I think
around
it's
that range.
11-5,
But they managed to go to the playoffs, whoop the hell out of the Pittsburgh Steelers in the wild card round by the sounds of 28-0 in the first quarter. So you were like, oh my God, the Browns are actually a contender now. And then fast forward to this year, they are deep into a pit where they recognize for years. And OBJ, if you've noticed him or not, he has not been himself. He hasn't been targeted even when he's wide open. And apparently it's not working out with Baker Mayfield and Odell Beckham. Apparently there's a lot of drama that came in with the locker room. And the Browns were like, you know what? That's it. You're gone. So now the question is, where is OBJ going to go from here? And Seth, what do you think?
well, in a different, since it was mentioned in Tree server, and different server, this being the Carolina Palms or Dodger Zion server, somebody mentioned that they're just anticipating when he gets cut and goes to the Bucks. But I'm going to say this: like with another player on that roster, Antonio Brown, we've seen Beckham plagued by drama and controversy. We saw it happen to him we saw what happened to Beckham with the Giants.
Yes.
He goes to the Browns, and for a couple of years, it's relatively quiet. Then all of a sudden, this starts back up. It parallels in a way Antonio Brown, even though it was much, much worse and dealt with a lot more drama. There's the year of just quiet, or maybe year, and then all of a sudden, it just explodes again. I think because of that, Beckham has ruined his reputation. Let's not discount. This is something else posted to us. I'm going to have to double check the numbers, but Mayfield has been significantly better without the services of OBJ this year compared to with. And you could say it's scheme fit. You could say it's a bit of rift. You could say whatever you want. But when the numbers are showing that something that they're not connecting and they're doing decently without it, that says something. And yes, I can say that he was brought in to be another big name because the Browns of the 2019 year were trying to bring in these big names. You had also brought along with him was Jarvis Landry. And Landry is in his time did okay. You don't hear much of him, but he's been doing okay.
Yeah,
Again,
he's been doing
serviceable.
well,
He's been
especially against the
serviceable.
Steelers.
That's the thing. Like head down, be serviceable. OBJ did that for them somewhat last year, and now that he's not really that serviceable, he's making a whole stink about it, which which makes what's already looking not great look even worse.
Yeah,
So the fact that they couldn't even trade him, he was that bad says something. Yes,
yeah, that's
you could argue, oh, the trade deadline passed, they can't get anything for him, but tonight, just let him go. Don't even give him a chance for another team to pick him up. Move him at all.
yeah,
And
that's
then the best thing I can see that happens to him is he goes to a team that's looking for names. Yes, John Gruden's not part of the Raiders anymore, thank goodness. Otherwise, he'd probably end up there. But a team that's looking for a name, like the name brand, OBJ, name brand. Is he a decent player? Maybe. But look, you get OBJ, this big name player. You can put his face on billboards and have it work out. Anything else? Maybe. You just get the billboard name.
yeah.
And that's kind of the way I see it. Is again, here's this guy to plaster on your billboards.
Right. And that's the thing, especially with the Browns, he's losing the competition for targets to guys like Austin Hooper, Donovan Peoples-Jones, Jarvis Landry. Like Baker Mayfield had plenty of weapons, and even though OBJ is wide open, Mayfield hasn't been looking for him, as we mentioned.
That could be a question of chemistry, absolutely, but that's also a question of reliability. If you have these other guys and they're efficient, they're getting it done,
Which they
you're
were.
more tempted to deliver the ball to them versus this guy who's a question mark at best.
Yeah. All right. So,
But meanwhile, we there's something we have to admit. The AFC North is a bloodbath, and I'm here for it.
it is.
You ha-
All teams have a record of 500 or better. It's becoming the new NFC West. I love it. Because you have the Ravens, who are 5-2, I think. And you have the Bengals, who aren't too far behind.
Yeah, the Ravens seem to be the mystery box. Cleveland is dealing with a litany of injuries, so their record is deceiving. You have the Bengals who are looking like they're back, and then you have the Steelers who are being absolutely carried by the services of one man, TJ Watt, who's helming their incredible defense as their offense is at best meh. But we will take seeing this show because any given Sunday, a team can take the division.
And don't forget that this could be the farewell tour for Ben Roethlisberger. It could be. But you never know. His contract could expire before he even considers retirement.
This is the last year on that deal.
This is
But
last year?
But it's the question of do they 1 year him out of loyalty? In hockey we call that the Roosevelt contract.
Yeah.
Where you just give the guy another year just to kind of keep him going. And speaking of hockey, we got a barn burner of a trade. Go ahead, Doc.
Yes, we do. Jack Eichel, who you may know from the Buffalo Sabres, he is now free from that Gone Show, and he is joining the Vegas Golden Knights. And he gets traded to Vegas. Let me pull it up. And you could.
I got the stuff. So
You can
Eichel
share screen.
gets traded with a 2023 third round pick to Vegas in exchange for winger Alex Tuck, Peyton Krebs, who's a minor league center, just trying to break it into the big leagues, a 2022 first round pick, and a 2023 second round pick. That's a lot to break down.
Yes, it is.
I'll start this one because I know from the hockey community they're seeing this as a win for Vegas. Jack Eichel being the star for the Sabres, the face of the franchise since he got drafted. But I see this as the wrong guy that they gave the captaincy to because he didn't. Again, having your best player can't always mean and doesn't always convert to this guy's your leader. You have guys like Sidney Crosby or Wayne Gretzky who can take that on, as well as Gabriel Landeskog. But on the other hand, you might have a captain like say Alexei Yashin, and that that has a name and that has the old name, but Yashin, when he took over for the captaincy, replacing Michael Pekka, didn't really mesh well with that team in the first place, and it didn't really work. Eichel seemed to be the same. Like give him some time to develop. Don't name him captain. Don't make him the leader. And yet they did. And what has resulted? It seems like there's there's just this general disconnect within the Sabres. I'm easily going to point out and say I want to easily point out and say yes, that's the Sabres, but there's part of me that wonders, is it? Because we've seen the team without him this year getting off to yet another October to remember, and I do mean that seriously, without him. It's like, so how much is he weighting down? How much of the Sabres is going to be this much better without him? Plus, again, he's moving to a team that's that's dealing with the loss of a big star of their own, and that's not really hurting them. That being Marc-Andre Fleury.
Right.
And you could say, look at their record in Vegas and say, oh, well, they're not that great. The problem is they've been dealing with a litany of injuries. Pretty much the only guys on that team that we recognize are Martinez and Marchessault and perhaps Robin Lehner. But that's it. That's the rest of it. As fellow member of the Carolina Palms server, Tom Randall mentioned, they look like the Henderson Silver Knights with as many guys who've had to call up.
Yeah.
And that's saying something. But on the other hand, Peyton Krebs I can see breaking out with the team or being another Evan Rodriguez where he finds just the right team, breaks out like Rodriguez did with Pittsburgh. But you lose Alex Tuck? Alex Tuck. That's going to be a difficult move, period, because Tuck was one of the biggest scorers for the Vegas Golden Knights since he came to that team. He has that natural scoring ability. Even if he's not the top line guy, you know to look out for him. And now he's on the Sabres, who already have that scoring, but it's not coming consistently. And here you have a guy who's just a consistent guy.
Right.
Buffalo. I think Buffalo won because of what the Knights had to give up, but I don't know. Duck, what's your take?
Well, here's the thing. Buffalo, ever since they drafted Jack Eichel, it's been a big soap opera, especially with Dan Bilesma and a former GM, which I cannot name. And Jack Eichel's been wanting out of this organization for a long time. And I feel like 2021, with all this drama, was finally the year they get rid of him. And the Sabres, they're not doing too bad, actually. They have a record of 5-4-1 with 5 wins and an overtime loss. That's 11 points in 10 games. They're currently in fourth in the Atlantic. And with Alex Tuck, I do think that they can get a little bit better and keep this going. Well, they have a game right now. They have a game that's about to drop at 7 against Detroit. So if there's any way they can continue their dominance, it's this.
Absolutely. And to expand upon your point, they did start off 5-1-1, and yes, it's that hot start has tapered off a little bit, but at the
They
same
lost 3
time,
straight games. Ouch.
they're also facing a very interesting Detroit team because they're looking better. They should have been so much better the past year, in my opinion. But
There we go.
this is kind of the first litmus test for both the Sabres and Red Wings. For the Sabres, you're getting Alex Tuck, who could easily be one of your top line players or top six, dare I say. And you're facing a team that is showing results, but we're not quite sure what they are. For that team, I should say for both teams, this is their let's see who you are because your game. And for the Sabres with Alex Tuck, ooh, and you have to keep in mind they don't really have the Sabres remind current and their current state kind of remind me of the Islanders of 2 years ago. They don't have this star play. They lose their big star player, and all of a sudden they look like they just gel together because they have something there. It feels like the Sabres could be that. They don't have this star player other than maybe Tuck. They've lost a lot of their big stars, and all of a sudden they're looking decent. Again, this is a team. No Reinhardt, no Ristolainen, and now no Eichel, and no Allmark either. Ooh, they no star power per se, but 5-4-1. The record says a lot more about this team as a whole than it does about the missing player.
Yeah, it does. All right, so
And I think against Buffalo, with the addition of a guy who can be a consistent scorer, ooh, they're already looking dangerous, and they're looking even more so now. Vegas, just good luck.
yep. I don't know if you could hear the TV in the background or not. All right.
Although, speaking of hockey, and I think we have some time to cover this, the Central Division has two very bad teams right now. We have the Arizona Coyotes, who are dealing with a rookie coach and are about with a loss today would set the franchise worst record for a start with an 11-1 start, breaking their 2017-18 record of 0-10-1, where the Coyotes currently are. On the other hand, there's the Chicago Blackhawks, who just fired head coach Jeremy Collision amid a start where they have one win. They can't tank because there's the Coyotes, but they can't win because I don't know. We'll let you take this one over while I look at my notes.
All right. Well, the Coyotes have a game against Seattle. Puck drop is at 10 p.m. Yeah, the Coyotes are just a mess to begin with. They're about to move out of Glendale and possibly head down to Tempe, but I don't think that's going to work out for them. And the Blackhawks, they've been a disaster since the offseason. And that's excluding the Seth Jones trade. Like, why? The Blackhawks also are dealing with problems of their own. They have one win in 12 freaking games. And they face the Predators at 7 p.m. on Sunday. And if there's a way to get back on track, it's this. Especially after losing your head coach. They better.
I'm not sure that they can,
No.
because as you mentioned, there were some off-season moves which really helped change the makeup of this team, and I don't quite know what they what what they were trying to do, because if we remember 2 years ago they came out and openly said we're going to be going through a bit of a rebuild, and they were stripping pieces and stripping pieces. So and then in this past season, they continue what was an unsustainable run from the 2020 Stanley Cup playoffs and 2021 season, and they just decide, okay, let's try and get these, let's just go all in and just get these random big name pieces, and that of course being Marc-Andre Fleury and the aforementioned Seth Jones. But I just see this as they're too weirdly built, and they're relying a lot on pieces to congeal that haven't. Dylan Strome hasn't really looked like the Dylan Strome we saw of the last 2 seasons. Alex DeBrincat has just been kind of there. Kane and Taves are not what they once were. And then there's Marc-Andre Fleury. Oof. Like last year, they relied on Kevin Lankinen, who emerged out of nowhere to become a good future piece for the team. Another player that emerged that could be a future piece was Pius Suter. They ditched Suter and keep Lankinen. But Lankinen, it seems like they want out the door because they brought in Marc-Andre Fleury. And Fleury, yikes!
Ugh.
It,
Yeah,
it,
he has
it,
not
fe-
been
it
doing
feels
good.
it feels like watching the Fleury that we. It feels like just watching. It feels like watching Lassie, or no, the Lassie, long movie. It feels like watching the end of Old Yeller,
Yeah.
because the oh my goodness, Chicago might have to Old Yeller him soon, because because the team has been struggling. He has not been doing very well, and Kevin
No.
Lankinen is also just kind of not had a good time, to say the least. But again, this feels like last year's Sabres. They are struggling, and they're just trying to find any sort of answer possible. So they fire their head coach in hopes of doing something. I also want to make an adjustment to what I said earlier. The Red Wings, who are playing tonight and tomorrow, are 4-5-2. But the Blackhawks currently sit at 1-9-2, and they'll be facing a 6-5-0 Nashville team. Yeah,
Yeah,
1-9.
it's going to be difficult.
Chicago's just trying to see if they can get anything going.
And right
For
now, with
yeah,
70 games to go there, it doesn't look bright.
again, they're trying to just get something going, anything going. And I don't think they have the pieces really to get it done, because let's face it, they're relying on Kane, they're relying on everything to mesh right away. We saw this with the 2019 or even 2020 Rangers, where they just brought in these big names like Panarin and Trouba. Panarin has worked out phenomenally. Trouba, not so much. And they're trying the world's fastest rebuild, but it's so weirdly built that you can't really see anything going right. And we're seeing that 192 record speaks volumes.
Mm-hmm. And we just got an update from the Pittsburgh Penguins. Brian Rust has now been activated off of injured reserve.
And that's
So
and I'm just going to say this: we've mentioned earlier that the AFC North, which has the Pittsburgh Steelers, is a bloodbath. Wolf about on the
the
another
Metropolitan
the
is so
Metropolitan Division, which has the Pittsburgh Penguins, that is so far in the season just nuts.
here.
If you bypass the undefeated, yes, undefeated Carolina Hurricanes, who have themselves a decent lead, it's anyone's race as they're within a few points of each other. I'm
Hmm.
looking up the standings now. Thank you,
Yep, the
NHL.com, for this.
Penguins. Yeah, the Penguins are currently in second to last, tied with the New Jersey Devils, and they're only about 4 games behind the Carolina Hurricanes. That's how
Yeah,
close this is.
the Penguins are 4-3-2, better than 500 record. Carolina is 9-0-0. Again, 18 points versus 10 points. It seems like a lot on the surface, but when you realize the difference is only by so much this far in the season, and they can easily vault into third with 2 wins, as the third place Capitals are 5-1-4. This is looking spicy.
I'm
Again,
all for it.
the difference between the last place in the division and first and second place is only 5 points. The difference between fourth and last is 2 points.
Yeah, the
Fourth
only
between
way.
fourth and last in division, 2 points
Hold on a
difference.
second.
That's awesome.
Hold on a second. I'm running low on battery. There we go.
There we go. I'm looking at the record for the division. Currently, again, Carolina sits in first. Columbus is pretty competitive at 6-3-0 when it felt like they were having to start over. But again, 8 point differential between first and last. At this point in the season, that's when you can tell if the division is going to be tight. And similarly to the 20, I dare I say, the early part of the 2010s, when a division is this tight, it's beautiful because any given day, any given week, things can change. It's beautiful.
I know. And that's the thing with sports. It's not about how much talent you have, it's about what you do in each game. And apparently, the Hurricanes are doing well every game. But
But
you do
but that
have
can
some
change.
teams that are not doing too terrible, especially in the Metro.
But again, any given week, it's just that sometimes the bounces go your way, sometimes they don't. And for the Hurricanes, everything's going right for them right now. But who knows? In a month's time, it couldn't. That's the beauty of it. We don't know, and we just have to let these things play out. Speaking of monster teams, though, holy crap, Florida! They are facing the Hurricanes tonight, and and both these teams do not have a regulation loss. Florida is 9-0-1. Carolina 9-0-0. My goodness.
Oh,
The
this is going to
Florida
be
Panthers are
interesting.
picking off right where they left off last season. Even though there was a bit of a question mark around goaltending between Sergei Bobrovsky and Spencer Knight, Knight being the rookie, Bobrovsky not working that well, it's been paying off for them. This is just beautiful. When you have these teams who are competitive, who are making every game a show, it's something.
Oh, boy.
Except if you're Arizona, that's just misery.
Uh,
It's sad times on the desert. And I might as well mention, since you did, this is the Glendale has basically kicked them out of what's now known as Gila River Arena, and they're trying to find an option in Tempe. we don't know. We just don't know.
It's unreal.
However, to me, and I know this is kind of Help's gig, but to me, I don't think they're the biggest black eye in the world of sports over the past week. And dare I say, in their own league, because Chicago is still facing that fallout. So I'm just going to gloss over everything that's been going on, since that's a whole nother hour we could go on with. But
I know.
Chicago, they're just having a very no fun, very tumultuous season. And because of how everything's been going wrong on and off the ice, I give them a gold medal for being just an absolute black eye on sports in general.
I know.
Take your L and head on out the door. Would that make?
Yeah.
No, they still wouldn't be last in the league with that L. Dang it, Arizona.
Darn
Yeah.
Arizona. Arizona ruins everything. All right.
Arizona just can't buy luck right now. They've had injuries, they've had poor play, they just can't get anything going, and in what looks like their final year in the Gila River Arena, it just goes out with a whimper, sort of like the Red Wings in the Joe Louis Arena. And sad times are had by all.
It's unfreaking believable what's going on in the sports world right now. So,
you have them. You have what's going on with the Washington football team. That's something else I'm not going to mention. But, whew.
2021 is giving us more drama. It's given us more laughter to end the year, and I love it.
And it's also given us one of the most beautiful things we've ever seen: the Atlanta Braves overcoming injury, adversity, and just horrible luck to win it all in the World Series. Atlanta, we salute you.
Yeah, if Aldino was on this podcast right now, he would be going off on Rob Manfred, taking away the All-Star game, losing Acuna, being doubted by Milwaukee, being doubted against Milwaukee, being doubted against LA, and then being doubted against Houston. It's freaking beautiful to see a story like this.
It's possible to have a hangover that's in its fourth day, because that might explain why Aldina is not here. Because again, This is for the Braves. This is their first title since 1995. For the city of Atlanta, this is their first title since 1995.
And the Braves own both of Atlanta's championships. Don't forget that. Major 4 championships, not counting MLS.
I was going to say, of the 4 major sports, I just want to look it up.
Because the Flames, when they were in Atlanta, they couldn't get it done. Thrashers couldn't get anything done.
Yeah.
You had the Hawks, but I think they won championships when they were in St. Louis.
Yeah, the last time they won a championship was in 1958, but the last time they came close was making the Eastern Conference Finals in 2015 and I believe 2020.
Yeah.
But again,
actually, I think that was 2021.
Yeah, 2021. You're right, because that was just this past season for them. But Atlanta. We've dunked on Chicago, we've dunked on Arizona, but whatever the direct inverse of dunking is, we give that to the Atlanta Braves. Well done.
Yes. Cheers.
Well done. and this is the part where I regret not having any caffeine. Dang it.
Yep. All right. So Fowler said he was gonna be here, but as you know, 30 minutes in his book means 2 hours.
And fortunately, we do not have that time.
No, we do not.
Because you mentioned right off the top, and I mentioned right off the top, after this, we're going to go get, at least I'm going to go get some food, and then we have some hockey to watch.
Yep. The you and my Penguins are going against the Minnesota Wild.
We have
Puck drop is I think is at 7.
Yes, we have the Penguins. We have the Penguins to watch. We have that Buffalo Detroit game, which I imagine is going to be nuts. And we're also going to see if the Arizona Coyotes can set a franchise record with a loss.
Please, please
If
do.
they lose, this would be they're not only one of the worst starts in NHL history, but a franchise worst start of 0-11-1. And all they have to do is get beat by the newest team in the league, the Seattle Kraken, who are
Come on, Kraken, do it.
making
do it.
themselves known, even if it's not showing up in the standings.
Nope. I mean, Seattle has a record of 4-6-1. But we expect that. They're not going to have the start that Vegas had.
Yeah, here's the thing. So far, my question for them has been, can you win over Seattle? And the answer so far has been a definitive yes.
Yes.
If they come, and yes, it's been a rough start for them, but hey, by the fact that they can sell out Climate Pledge Arena easily, they're not having any problems getting fans in those doors.
Oh no, God no.
Seattle, you win. It's that we hoped that they'd be getting off to a better start, yes, but can't exactly say this is going horribly for them, because if you can pack a building in your first year and continue to pack that building.
And they currently have 71 games to go. And Seattle's already doing well in terms of attendance. They're bringing in big names. Like we recently saw Ciara and Russell Wilson show up for a game. They're bringing in all the big names, and that's what a major team should aspire to do.
And as I've said before, your goal in your first year is basically to endear yourself to the city. The Seattle Kraken have done that and more so far. And they are and tonight, though they're on the road, they can help make some history.
They can.
Or at least a franchise history. Let's see. And this is the first ever game that the Kraken will play in Arizona. So, in front of home fans, can the Coyotes, already in a horrible start, can they make it historically bad? We shall see. But, that being said, I think, unless you have any final thoughts, that's going to be it.
Well, I do want to give your thoughts on this because I put in as a topic last night. We have a new AHL team. The Seattle Kraken, for right now, is the one of two affiliates for the Charlotte Checkers, along with the Carolina Hurricanes. They just announced the new team coming in Palm Springs. Whoops. I'm going to go ahead and share my screen. The Seattle Kraken has a new team coming to Palm Springs. Let me introduce you to the Coachella Valley Firebirds, the new team coming to Palm Springs in 2022. Zep, what do you think?
This is never. I hate to say it, but this felt like it was kind of inevitable, because like with Vegas and Henderson, they need their own minor league team, and the fact that it's in the Coachella Valley, which correct me if I'm wrong, but it's in Northern California.
Yep,
It's
Palm
like, hey,
Springs.
we'll we'll take it. You, and again, if they can sell themselves, if with Seattle being having a good reach in the state of Washington, if the reach is also good in Northern California,
And it's in Southern California, actually.
oh, it's in Southern California.
Yeah.
Oh well, either way, all that. When it comes to minor league team, like with a major team, you just have to win over the area you're in, and
Yep.
if they can do that, similar to Henderson, they're okay.
Yep.
And this again, this I can't really say much because this felt like inevitability, but hey, great for them.
Mm-hmm. I thought this logo really pops. Like, you got the light blue for the eye that really meshes well with the red and orange. I thought we were gonna make it with Kirby because he likes to review logos and all that.
That's for another time.
Yes, we'll show it to him in a later episode. All right, so we have passed the hour mark. I think we could call it quits unless you want to do a mini shit stay of the week.
I think we already have because both of us have pinned that on the Blackhawks. But I do have a few shouts to give, and I'm going to let you have your shouts and close out the show. But I wanted to shout out some people who have allowed me to introduce this whole podcast to them. Um, that being Mortal Paralight, Chloe Fluff, um, Double A Gaming, as well as Stutters. Let's see who else. We have, of course, the always reliable Carolina Palm Resort. Thank you again, Dodger, for allowing us to host this. We have the court streaming community, including Juris Princess, Doc Talks Dave, among others. And to everybody who's tuning in from or from those communities, or just tuning in, just tuning for the sake of tuning in, we thank you for your viewership, and for those who allow us to post in their service and expand our audience, we thank you immensely.
Yes. And
Duck?
I just want to say thank you guys for watching, and I'm planning on doing a personal stream on Monday night on my channel, the Steelers versus the Bears on Monday Night Football. So I want to say thank you to Zep for putting up with me for 1 hour. And thank you guys so much for watching episode 25 of the Sports Disaster. Health couldn't make it, but hopefully he watches this over and enjoys this episode. And thank you for Dark Kirby for coming in for a little short time. And thank you guys for watching. Make sure you like, subscribe, and leave a comment suggesting what else we should do and talk about in this podcast. So thank you guys for watching. Make sure you like, subscribe, and we'll see you guys next time on the
Have a
Sports
good
Disaster.
evening, everybody.